Alright, this is a suggestion via Patreon. The name of the video is Gene Deal exposes Diddy's inappropriate relationship with his mother. He treats her like his girl. I hope not. He's one of those son husbands, yeah? Is that what he's trying to say here, guys? Because that's wild. Let's do it. Let's do it. I would definitely class myself as a mama's boy, but not.
My guy, Gene Deal, happy to have you back on the platform, man. We got a lot to get into, man. Diddy mom, she came out defending her son, man. How you feel about that? She made a comment saying that he's not a monster.
I guess this is my newfound career, so I'm going to say what's on my mind and what I think, brother.
It is. I think so.
First of all, that's his mother. Wrong, right, or indifferent, she going to lie, steal, kill, and protect her child. That's what she's supposed to do.
That's crazy.
But the apple don't fall far from the tree, man. You got to realize that. You know, he didn't get all this from his daddy because he didn't know his daddy, even though they try to say his daddy was some big-time drug dealer in the whole 9 yards. You understand? He didn't get this from his daddy. You got to realize, man, you know, his mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also ladies of the night, a prostitution ring too.
Okay.
Or these ladies was doing things other than modeling.
Right. It happens.
So the apple don't fall far from the tree.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So now you got to understand this, and looking at her and some of the stuff that he was saying, and their relationship has changed since I knew them.
Okay.
Since I was around them. You understand? This man was talking about that his mother could take her palms and bend over and put them down on the floor. Not bend over, but she could stand straight up and put her palms on the floor, bruh. He's saying that about his mother. Who describes any of their mother action like that in a sexual way? And then, you know.
Oh, no, that's crazy. That's absolutely nuts, actually. Now, listen, again, to kind of reiterate what I stated earlier, I would call myself a mama's boy for the most part here, right? But never anything like this. I could never describe my mother in this fashion. It's incredibly weird. Also, the amount of times that my mother has sided against me, her child, is wild, okay? Because in reality, if you want to raise your child specifically, you cannot have say your child is always right, even when he's wrong, bro. Repercussions, accountability. These things are important to instill in children. And I think if he was raised like that, then, you know, I can understand why he takes no accountability for all of the absolutely heinous things he has allegedly done.
Describes any of their mother action like that in a sexual way. And then, you know, I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that.
None.
That's them. That's their whole thing.
None of you better be kissing your mother in her mouth, and you're 50 years old. I'm sorry. That's nasty. Right. Certain times when that has to, you know, all of that stops. Okay. All right. Most likely, normally around puberty. Let's say you want to stop that immediately. Nip that in the bud, because that is absolutely weird.
Man, but that was a little kind of weird for me.
Yeah.
And then his mother wore the same white fingernail polish that Cassie described that he liked to see her and other models in.
Oh no!
When she was describing her lawsuit, and what's crazy to me is that, man, it seemed like him and his mother had this. I don't want to get too deep, man. This Oedipus complex thing.
I smelt it coming.
You know what I mean?
I smelt that.
And
coming.
a lot of people going to say, "Yo, Oedipus complex." Well, let me just tell you a brief story so you'll know.
That's how you're describing it.
It may have been Greek mythology, or it was probably Greek mythology or something like that. But it's a story about
dude loved his mother unnecessarily.
A young man that was told that he was going to kill his father and marry his mother. So on the way, this young man had grown up. You know, he didn't know that he was an orphan and then was adopted by a family. He thought the family he was with was his mother and father, but it wasn't. So on the way to this town, he gets into an argument with this other man and he kills him. He kills that man. Then he goes into that town. A lady is weeping about her husband, being told that her husband was dead, and he ended up marrying that lady, which was his mother. So Sigmund Freud came up with this thing about this Oedipus complex, about a sexual relationship, whether it's physical or mental, with a mother and a son. So I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch, and both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties.
IVs.
Allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know. But they showed.
But you just said you're looking at it, though, right? The fact that you just said you're looking at it, it says that you were there. But that's whatever.
Allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know. But they showed them both getting IVs on the couch.
Okay.
So my whole thing about this thing is that
I like how he corrected
I'm not
himself.
saying that she was ever at a freak off. She was ever at that type of party.
Okay.
But you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties, didn't know nothing about the freak off parties.
Right.
This is the same dude, bruh, that
These wild
used to disrespect
accusations.
his mother. So I seen
Okay.
the love now that they have for each other only on film and camera. You know, on the YouTube or Instagram or wherever they were showing it and stuff like that. But this the same guy that Kirk Burroughs once told me he slapped his mother.
Oh.
And I told everybody, had I known he slapped his mother after I told Kirk Burroughs, Kirk told me after I straightened his ass out for cussing his mama out.
Let me tell you something, right? Listen. Let me find out someone near me, around me, that I speak to on a regular basis has put their hands on their mother, bro, or their father. They made you, bro. They made you. Like, there is nothing that I can think of that could make you put your hands on the people who made you. I can't even imagine it. What do you mean by that? Right? Like, they can, like, don't get me wrong here. Some people are unfortunately cursed with super terrible parents. I get that. Super necessarily terrible parents. But that is still not even an excuse to put your hands on the people who made you. That's a wild one. You
His mother
slapped your
came in
mother?
a limousine and he was on the phone and she said, yo, why don't you tell these people like that? And he just cussed her clean out like on some, did
That's
I tell
wild.
you to stay out my motherfucking business? And I was like, yo, I was shocked. She didn't say nothing. I said to him, I said, yo, boy, let me tell you something. If you ever cuss your mama again, I'm gonna beat the shit out you.
Right. Mandatory.
You ain't gonna bring nothing but bad luck to us treating your mama like that.
Mandatory.
So
Your
I guess he
mother?
ain't treating his mama like that no more. But I don't have no qualms in her defending her son.
I do a little bit, bro.
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
have no qualms in her defending
do.
her son. You
I
gotta
do.
understand that, man. Miss Janice Combs been around for a long time, and she's a trendsetter.
Okay.
Where you think Little Kim, Mary J. Blige, and the rest of them get that blonde hair from? She popped up in the club with the blonde hair, the nails, the
People have had blonde hair forever.
eyelashes, way before they was doing it.
Okay.
You know, people used to think that
That's not a good
she
example,
was Lil'
bro.
Kim mama, or Lil' Kim was trying to be her daughter, because they used to say they look alike.
Okay.
But I don't have no qualms in her defending her son. That's what she's supposed to do, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And if she didn't,
Like, if your son is wrong, you have to point out the fact that your son is wrong. All right. Do not allow weakness to brew within your children. All right. So that's a fact. Okay. I hear what you're saying. I respect what you're saying. Definitely. But don't just side with your kid because it's your kid. Did your kid do something terrible? Okay.
I would look different at her. And, you know, like I said, I don't blame her, man. You know, I really don't blame her. I remember a time like, and this when I stopped working for Diddy. is that we was in the office, and she used to just come at me, and it wasn't in a way in which you do a person that's there to protect your son. You know what I'm saying? She used to just always bother me for whatever reason. You know, people laugh and joke and say that when I say this back in the day, you know, I'm 6'7", 30 in the waist, handsome in the face. You understand?
6'7".
She used to come at me a certain way that it made Puff.
Wait a second. I just thought everything else was in the room was small. 6'7".
Real mad this particular day. And I don't know what happened. I'm outside the office and he got Justin there. So my responsibility is him and Justin, nobody else. I don't give a shit what goes on in that office, what happens, stuff like that. My responsibility is him and Justin. That's it. Now they got interns, they got everybody walking around the office the whole 9 yards. She said, yo, Gene, I need you to go to my car. You know, I said, go to your car. She said, yeah, I got some food in my car. I want you to go get it.
Okay.
I said,
nah,
I'm not here for that. That ain't what I ain't here for that. I'm not going to get your food. She was like, why everybody do what I tell them to do except you? I said, because I don't work for you. I said, I don't work for you. Why are you always ask me when you got all these interns around here to do like that? And Puff must have heard something. Puff came out that door. Why you always messing with Gene? Leave Gene alone. He was talking to his mother like this. He was like, yo, leave Gene alone. You always messing with Gene. Stop it. From that, and then he said, yo, Paul, figure something out. I said, he ain't got to figure nothing out. After I finished working for him, I never went back. I never went back. So she was dating young guys back then. So, you know, that's her thing. You know, the way she dressed is not age appropriate. And I know some women gonna say, how she supposed to dress? She could dress whatever she want to. Now, listen to me, man. Nah. I ain't gonna have my mama around my friends or nobody with some come me draws on and talking about, you know, she my mama.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
I can see
I ain't
that.
gonna be talking about my mama is bending over, putting her palms on the floor with her white fingernails.
I can see that.
So
that's a wild one.
Listen, I'm just reminiscing and thinking back, man. I could see through their whole experiences and what they've done and how they've been towards each other, back and forth, this, that, and the third, that her son is right now is in the fight for his life. You understand? But instead of being his friend, she should, or whatever she was, or however she was, she should have been a mama and checked his ass when he was doing all that dirty shit and when he was doing all that shit that he was doing and he's being accused for.
Okay. And that's the truth. Hold on.
And that's what it is.
It's over. All right. I mean, yeah, and that's definitely the truth, right? But if she's the type of mother to now come out specifically with all that's happening to her son and say all of these things, like, he didn't do none of these things, right? I mean, she doesn't want her son to be held accountable. So why would she then at any time hold her son accountable? Slightly a contradicting message here at the end, to be honest. But all right, guys, if any of that is true, right, it's weird. I mean, listen, some mothers, when they raise their kids and the father is not there, they tend to turn the son into the man that they've dreamt of, right? And that's incredibly terrible, right? I mean, they're called son husbands. And yeah, it's weird, bro. Specifically, if you're one of those individuals looking from the outside, right? I mean, it's weird. And the fact that your son has all this power over people and their careers and their overall livelihood, I think even more so that person should be held to some type of level of accountability. But, you know, listen, Gene Deal has been coming out putting out some bangers lately, right? He has been divulging all of the information, all of it. And I'm glad for it, guys, right? I mean, He thinks he doesn't really want to say allegedly, but he does consistently. I really wish that we can get a little bit more concrete, things to kind of back up a lot of the things that he's saying. But I do think out of all the people that are currently talking that knew of the situation, I think he's probably the more credible of them all, right? Jaguar Wright is interesting, but I think Gene Deal has a little bit more, to be honest. But all right, listen, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And if you are new here, please like and subscribe. Right? I'll catch you guys later. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.